of your 12 Weeks to Stronger Bones challenge. It's already been a month, so hopefully we're starting to see little improvements in our strength and in our confidence. Now, this week is probably the most important week because we're talking about balance. Now, if we have good balance, we're less likely to fall, and if we're less likely to fall, we are less likely to fracture. So please prioritize this. This is going to be a quick 5-minute routine that you can do every day, or you can cherry pick an exercise that I'm going to teach you and practice that individually. Now, safety first. If you feel dizzy at any point, if you have stability issues, then please make sure that you either sit down, that you have a balance aid near you. That could be a wall, that could be a chair, and just make sure that you practice in a safe space so that you're not going to trip up on anything or fall. Okay, safety lesson out of the way. Now for balance, I usually prefer to work in socks or bare feet, and that is because it helps us to really strengthen that sensitivity or that proprioception, or those muscles that get sent from the feet all the way up. But again, if you're new to this, then please practice in shoes. It'll give you more stability. So our first little exercise is going to be very simple. It's going to be weight shifts forward and back. So all I want you to do is to step 1 foot forward. Now, you'll notice that I've got my feet hip width apart. The more wide a base we have, the more stable we're going to be. And all I want you to do is shift your weight forward into your front leg, and then shift your weight back into your back leg. Okay, forward and back. And you'll notice as I shift forward, my back heel lifts, and as I shift back, my front ball of my foot and toes lift. So I want you to practice this, right? Just shifting the weight forward and back, loading the front and back leg. Easy peasy, right? So once you've done a couple like this, see if you can really try and keep your spine in that same alignment. So you notice that I'm trying to shift my weight with me. So I'm bending my front knee now slightly just to take that weight with me. Okay, a little bit more challenging. Let's give the other side a go. So I'm just going to turn straight around. We're going to do the same thing. Now, if you're doing this and you feel like this is not challenging for me at all, okay, then you can always do it in a slightly narrower stance, all right? Well, you know, the narrower our base of support, the more challenging our balance is going to be. Obviously, the most narrow is going to be what we would call tandem. So that's literally 1 foot in front of the other, like we're walking on a tightrope. So you see me, even there I did a quick change and it was difficult. So that's a really quick way that you can progress your balance challenge, just from going a wider base of support while we shift forward and back to a narrower base of support. So once you've done this a couple times, hopefully you've started to get a sense for kind of where our balance is. What we want to make sure is that we're able to organize ourselves, right? Make sure that our weight is stacked over our supporting leg, and then we've got that balance to support ourselves. Let's do a little bit side to side as well. So I'm just keeping a soft bend in my knee, and I'm transferring my weight from side to side. Easy peasy, right? If it feels easy, side to side, maybe see if you can just take that leg off slightly. That's what's going to make it harder. So we're just shifting our weight, okay, side to side. Good. Don't take that leg off till you're ready. And remember, you can always use a wall. So once we've kind of got the feel of where our body is in the space, right, easily shifting side to side, what I would like for you to do is step with your feet together for me, hands on down by your side. So obviously my feet are together. It's that small base of support, and I just want you to start by turning your head from right to left. So balance is made up of 3 systems, okay? We've got our visual system, so what we see in front of us, our vestibular system, which is our inner ear, and then our proprioception, so that's our body's understanding of where we are in space. So if I start to add a head turn into my balance practice, it's a really quick and easy way to challenge my visual and my vestibular system, because my body is having to talk to my visual system and my vestibular system, which is that little inner ear, that kind of our inner equilibrium, yeah? So this is probably going to feel super easy for a lot of you, okay? If it does, I want you to challenge yourself and take yourself into that tandem stance. So you're going to have 1 foot in front of the other. Now I've got mine heel to toe, and I want you to really shift, try and keep your weight in the center. Now from there, I want you to keep your balance and see if you can turn your head from side to side, okay? Now, what will happen is you'll probably feel that your ankles are probably a little bit wobbly, right? Which is what we want. We want those muscles firing to learn to stabilize ourselves. Now, I want you to give it a go on the other side. I'm going to do it facing this way, and exactly the same thing. Now, if this feels good, and you feel like, I feel really good here, I can easily move my head side to side, then we're going to add on. If this feels super, super wobbly, I want you to keep practicing. Okay, now the next exercise, we're going to use the length of our mat, and we're going to do a tandem walk. So we're doing that one foot in front of the other. I want you to imagine that you've got an invisible tightrope along the center of your mat, and you are going to walk heel to toe to the end of your mat. Okay, now I want you to try and do it slow, right? When we walk fast, it's a little bit easier. I want you to try and do it slow. Once you get to the end, turn around and walk back. Now, usually if we keep our eyes fixed on one point, it's easier to balance, right? Because we haven't got to worry about trying to figure out where we are in space. We've got clear direction. Our brain and our body knows we're looking at that spot. We're heading in this way. Now, if this feels really easy, which I'm sure for many of you it will do, then you can also try it backwards. So walking heel to toe, right, the center of your mat. Just kind of count how many steps you go so that you know to stop at the end of your mat, right? And then come forward. So you're going to go forward and back. Now, like I said before, if you're like, I can do this forward, I can do this backwards, it's not challenging at all, we're going to add in that little vestibular challenge, okay? So that's going to be, as I walk forward in my tandem stance, I'm going to turn my head from right to left, or from left to right, if you don't know your rights and lefts like me. Pilates instructor's prerogative, huh? And then I'm going to go back. Now, I want you to imagine as you turn your head, it's like we're following something, like our eyes are tracking something, rather than just turn the head from side to side. That's harder, right? It's much more challenging. So I always like to imagine that there's like a little mosquito, a little fly around me, and my eyes are tracking and following him or her as I go, right? And you'll notice, you see, I've gone a little bit wobbly there. So that's a really quick and easy way to make sure that we're adding that vestibular drill into our balance work. Now from there, we're going to go into a dynamic balance challenge, which is going to be the rond de jambe. So what I want you to do, remember you can always use that wall or balance aid if you need it. We're going to take a single leg balance into one of our legs, okay? Now remember, just like we did in week 1, we don't want to sink into our hips, so we want to push the floor away and lengthen our spine. From there, I want you to stretch your leg forward. You're then going to circle your leg around to the side, and then you're going to lift out of your hips as it circles to the back, right? From there, I'm going to sweep my leg forward. So it's kind of more like a little semicircle. So I'm going to circle my leg to the side, lift out of my hips as it comes to the back, and then sweep it forward. Now you can always put your hands out to the side if it helps you, but what I want you to think of is that we're always lifting out of our hips. And this is what we would call a dynamic balance challenge, right? I'm having to stay on the spot, but I'm also getting movement, right? Through my leg. It's really, really good for loading the hip and ankle. You're going to give me about 3 on that right, and we better do 3 on the other side. So, taking that balance, lifting out of those hips, stretching the leg forward. And obviously, the higher that leg is, the more challenging it's going to be, right? So what we want to make sure is that we can keep that beautiful organization of everything stacked over my standing leg, and then I sweep it forward. So you can see my balance isn't as good on this side, and that's normal, right? And when we do these exercises, that maybe one side is stronger than the other. Now think, as that leg goes around to the back, lift out of those hips and back. You're going to give me one more here, sweep it to the side. Now lift out of those hips, keep circling it around, make that nice smooth semicircle. That leg comes to the front, we lower it back down, and we give it a little shake. So We're moving into our final little balance exercise, okay? And if any of these feel like they're too challenging, don't worry. Come back to them. You've got a whole week to be working through these exercises. We're going to do a single leg hip hinge. If you've never done it before, I would suggest maybe just holding on to something. But you're going to have one foot back, okay? And you're going to have that back heel lifted, and you're going to shift your weight into your front leg, just like we did in the beginning, right? Shifting our weight forward. But this time, I'm going to shift my weight forward, same as we did, and I'm going to take my leg off. Now from there, you'll notice I've got a little bend in my knee. So I'm going to keep that bend in my knee. I'm going to fold from my hip joint, and I'm going to hinge forward, keeping my spine straight. And then as my leg lowers, my chest lifts, and I come back down. And we're going to do 3 more on that side. So I hinge from my hip crease, just like we did in that sit to stand in our squats. My leg and my body work together like a seesaw, right? As my leg lowers, my chest lifts. And back, we've got 2 more here. Now this is the most challenging of the balance exercises. And also, you know, we're standing on a mat now. Mat is a soft surface area. It's making your balance harder. So if it feels difficult, stand on a solid surface where your trainers to help, right? We're building up. Remember, we're progressing slowly. We're building up the challenge week by week, so don't worry. And come down. Give that leg a little shake, and we're going to go straight to the other side. So we've got our foot forward. We're going to shift our weight into our front leg, same as we did in the beginning class. Think of that body like a seesaw. So as immediately when I start to shift my weight forward, that leg starts to lift. I keep my body and my leg in line. Now, of course, the more parallel, and you see, even I wobbled there, I had to use my walls to support. The more parallel my body and the higher my leg is, the more challenging the exercise. And lift. So don't worry if you don't go that high. I don't mind if you're here, right? What I want to make sure is that you keep that soft bend in the knee, that you can hinge from that hip joint, and that you can maintain your balance as you do. We've just got 2 more here. Down. Nice and slow and controlled. And up. Beautiful, last one. Now if I'm going too fast, remember, don't worry, go your own pace. As that leg lowers, that body lifts. Stand up nice and tall and give those legs a little shake. So there you have it, guys. We have worked static, dynamics, vestibular challenge. We've done it all for our balance. So pick and choose what you need or do this whole series all together. And I look forward to seeing you for week 5 very, very soon.